So as the ambassador of arts and culture for the council member of Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights, this year on the 60th anniversary, we were able to put a bench out in the park with the names of the founders, which are Shirley Hawkins, Ernest Critchlow, and Jacob Lawrence,
Yes.
in honor of the founders. So that means a lot in terms of what does it mean to see art on the fence. Growing up as a young black man, I never saw black artists. The only black artist I ever saw, I was just telling a friend of mine, was Bob Ross, who I thought was a black artist because he had an afro. So that was the only person I would watch him on Channel 13, and I thought I can do what he did. And then I got introduced to black art through Good Times, and I started mimicking that. So to see this, it's great to see black art represented from black artists, and actually being able to, as a young person, meet a black artist and say, hey, I can do that too.
Right, absolutely. Well, just for those who may not know, we'll try to capture a photo of it as well. Across the street, in front of Boys and Girls High, is actually a piece that was done by Ernest Critchlow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so if you get a chance to come down this way on the bus or walking on Fulton Street and, what's that, Utica?
Fulton and Stuyvesant. Right on the corner of Fulton and Stuyvesant in front of Boys and Girls High School.
Boys and Girls High School. Check out Ernest Critchlow's humongous mural that was done by him ages ago. I remember when they did it and dedicated it.
Yeah.
Right. So, besides, I understand them having an annual art show, the Fulton Art Fair also is doing art year-round.
Correct.
So I'd just like to let everybody know that again. And they can connect with you in reference to some issues or whatever is going on in the art in Bed-Stuy at your office.
Correct.
And what is the address of your office as ambassador to the arts? And email or website address?
Okay, so the office is 1360 Fulton Street in Restoration, right above Applebee's, Suite 500.
Okay.
And I can be reached by phone at 718-919-0740, extension 115, or by email at jgrant@council.nyc.gov.
Okay. And I'll also be putting that up when I actually edit this video. One other thing is, what are some of the things that you do as ambassador of the arts?
Well, as the ambassador of arts and culture, my primary responsibility is to maintain the cultural and artistic background and framework of the community.
Okay.
With that, we've created some things, the Bed-Stuy Theater Group, so we do August in August, which is August Wilson Plays in the Park during the month of August. We've introduced the Bed-Stuy Art Walk. We've introduced some comedy shows. We've introduced a lot of things, but most importantly, we've maintained a lot of the things that have been happening. 5 years ago, before I came into office, and I don't know if it's something that I did or if it was going to happen organically, but the art scene in Bedford-Stuyvesant was pretty grim.
Right.
And through a lot of the work, working with some of the people who are already doing things, like Sada Keisha, who was in charge of the Fulton Art Fair at the time, we started working together to kind of like revitalize what the Fulton Art Fair is, because it was kind of like, it was kind of dwindling.
Yes.
And I remember making a promise to Art O'Neill and saying to him that I definitely want to make a huge contribution within my 4 years here and in your time still being with us.
Yes.
So that bench means a lot more than people can really understand, because it was an opportunity for me to make good on my promise, but at the same time, for someone like Otto, who's been around since the conception of this thing, to actually see to actually get a vindication in a form of reward. And I was able to be a part of that history.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I wasn't unfortunately here that weekend. However, I did see the video because I edited it, and it was absolutely fabulous. And it was so good to see him, Otto Neals, as well as Emmett Wigglesworth get their due.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Joseph, for taking the time to stop and speak with us.
Before I go, I have to say, you guys have a great steward with Larry Weeks.
Yes.
Larry Weeks is phenomenal at what he's doing and all the work that he's doing to make sure that the Fulton Art Fair has a presence, not only once a year, but continuously.
Yes.
So I may be the ambassador of arts and culture, but Larry Weeks makes sure that I do my job.
That's good. That's good to hear. Also, the fact that the Fulton Art Fair also has been made a recipient of the Media Share program.
That's right.
At Brick Arts Media. So we'll be seeing even probably more things from this venue.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks again.
You're more than welcome.
Right,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
So I'm assuming that this is going out to the entire world. So I'm going to welcome the world to the Fulton Art Fest, the 60th anniversary. Y'all can make a lot of noise when we say that. That's celebratory. Right here in the heart of my beloved Bedford-Stuyvesant. You know, oh, that's right. I'm sorry. He said our. I took a little too much ownership. Our beloved Bed-Stuy. And this festival has been going on for 60 years. And I'm standing with two gentlemen who are part of the pioneering groups of the Fulton Art Fair. And I believe that these young men said that they are in their 20s, 124, 128. When they began this, and I think about when I was 24 and 28, what kind of vision I had. And it wasn't the same vision that apparently these gentlemen had. So it's art and culture for our people has been something that sustained us through some very difficult periods in this country. And the idea that even as we change as a community, and they call it evolution, but we call it gentrification, it's important that we keep our art and culture alive. And it's important that this festival and others like it, like when I look behind me, I see this giant statue of Robert Fulton, and that's here forever. And so it doesn't matter what demographics there are. And now with Google, you can walk through and see a name and Google it and know who he is and what that meant to the community. And today we're here to celebrate three giants, three of the individuals who were responsible for the beginning of the Fulton Art Fair. And we're going to unveil just a tiny commitment to them and what they meant to this community and what they mean to it in the past, what they mean to it presently, and what they mean to it going forward. We're going to unveil this bench. When I got the call from the organizers here at the Fulton Art Fair saying that they wanted to have some memory that was sustained forever, I didn't hesitate in calling the Parks Commission and saying, listen, man, I know that y'all, put up statues and monuments and benches and to heroes. Well, these are some of our heroes culturally, and we wanted to make sure that we could sustain that. I'm just supposed to be unveiling this today, but I think standing, it's funny for me to say this, but standing between two giants, literally. All right, it wasn't that funny. In Emmett and Otto, I would love to personally, I've had an opportunity to speak to them privately, but I'd like to personally and for the world to hear from their perspective what the thinking was, all of those years and decades ago when Bed-Stuy was a cultural mecca, musically, through art, through entertainment. I don't have to name how many artists and entertainers hail from Bedford-Stuyvesant, even today. So our young people only know about Jay-Z and Biggie, but we've had I had some of my elders say, who? Somebody yelled out Lena Horne, somebody yelled out Stephanie Mills, somebody yelled out Sarah Vaughan. So we've had so many. And before we unveil it, in my tradition, we always call out the names of our ancestors, those that have gone before us, to pay homage to them. And at some point today, before we do that, I'd love to just have that call and response of our ancestors who've meant so much to the culture and the richness of this community. But before I go any further, I personally would like for the world to hear from some of the visionaries on not only this fair and festival, but on art and culture in black communities across the world. And I'm going to start, they told me to start with Otto, but Otto deferred very quickly to Emmett. So I'm just going to do as I'm told, Brother Emmett. We can cheer, Brother Emmett.
What I'm going to say is redundant, in that I've said it 1,000 times. The Fulton Art Fair was started because those of us who are the elders, for the most part, never knew that a black artist existed. And we wanted to make sure that the kids in this community would be able to know we were here, and there were others that came even before us. We had this park at one time lined up with artists all the way around the park. And to see young brothers and sisters come by and say, wow, I didn't know we could do all of this. One of the sad things in this society is that they understand that the arts, and I'm saying we have to talk about the arts with an S on it. They understand how it releases creativity in our communities and our children, and they've gone out of their way to make sure that the schools no longer have art programs, no longer have music programs, so that now they can program those same kids the way they want to. All of the artists, and I wish you had a chance to pan around and see my brothers and sisters who are here, are dedicated to making sure that our kids, and the world for that matter, gets an opportunity to release their creativity to make the world a better place. I'm going to turn it over to Brother Otto because Brother Otto is the oldest living member of the Fulton Art Fair, and we all honor him.
Thank you, Brother Andy. Shirley Hawkins was a businesswoman, and she saw in this community a tremendous amount of talent that she wanted to showcase. That's how the Fulton Art Fair began. She chose Jacob Lawrence of Ernie Fitchburg to be co-chairs of the fair. And the fair started in 1958 and attracted artists that was to become fantastic, well-known artists, well-known artists. Tom Feelings, Vivian Schuyler Key, Ani Mallah, and a host of other artists. We have in the audience the family of one of our fantastic artists, and my brain is Violet Chandler was a fantastic artist, and we unfortunately lost her last year. And we have in the audience some of her family members. Anyhow, the fair is fantastic. The response we got from the community was unbelievable. And we hope in this 60th year, we hope to be able to continue far into the future with younger artists. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Brother Otto. So as I said before we go and make a movement towards the bench, in my tradition, we call out our elders. We call out those who've gone before us. Now, there are so many greats that have hailed from Bed-Stuy and Crown Heights. I'm going to ask that we don't limit it just to artists, but those people who have been great and who this community's we built this community on their shoulders. If we could just take a second to call out those names of the ancestors right now. So I'm gonna start with my father, Robert E. Cornegie Sr., pastor of Mount Calvary Baptist Church, 701 Quincy Street.
Connie Hawkins.
I should have called that Connie too, but it's all good.
Shirley Hawkins, founder.
Shirley Hawkins.
Ernie Critchlow.
Ernie Critchlow.
Lawrence Dawson.
Lawrence Dawson.
Jacob Lawrence.
Carl Wright, Jacob Lawrence. Theo Cardi.
Lafayette Robinson.
Lafayette Robinson.
Floyd Sapp.
Floyd Sapp.
Nat Pinckney.
Ned Pinckney.
Violet Chandler.
Violet Chandler. Les Campbell. Better known as G2 Weusi. Ruby Blake.
Just back down the street.
Yes, sir.
Connie Carson.
Connie Millar, Sonny Carson. There's some powerful, powerful people. And our young people have to know what they come from. So the music and the internet has them thinking one way about themselves. And so many people have sold into their lives and have created a fabric that we need to keep together. And calling out those names moves me in a particular way because I know that I'm not alone. When I call those names, I know that the struggle was real and is continuing. So I'd like to thank you all for coming out. We're gonna move towards the bench at this time. So on 3, we're gonna call out the names of the founders that are on this bench. And I gotta let you know, there's not a ton of these benches in the city. There's not a ton. So we are, as we do in Bed-Stuy always, setting a precedent for honoring our folks the way that they should be honored. So another tradition I have, unfortunately, one last tradition, and that is of prayer. And while we called on our ancestors and we called out those names, while I am a preacher's kid, I was not allowed in the pulpit, and we'll talk about reasons why later. So if I do have someone who is skilled in the ability to pray, if I can just pray on behalf of our ancestors, on behalf of the brothers and sisters who are responsible for this today. Amen. All right, so we're gonna count back from 5, and then we're gonna ask the brothers just to pull forward and unveil the names of Shirley Hawkins, Jacob Lawrence, and Ernest Critchlow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So anyone who sits on that bench, who has a smartphone, will Google those names and understand what their commitment was to this community, and hopefully be inspired to carry a commitment and a legacy going forward. And what I would ask of the organizers of the Fulton Art Fair is grab up some of these young folks, tutor them, mentor them, which I know you do already. We're gonna ask for next year to have a small little section just for our young artists who can come and sit at your feet and understand the intersection between arts and culture and politics, and how important it is that they can't do one without the other, that they have to be together. And while we're in this climate, in this very difficult climate of politics and of trying to make America great again, we're gonna make Bed-Stuy great again. Can we commit to that? So again, I want to thank you. I see that the band has set up. We're going to enjoy this wonderful weekend in this beautiful weather, and we're going to send a message to the rest of the world about what Bedford-Stuyvesant is really about, and it's about protecting its arts and its culture. I just want you to know I have 3.5 years left as your council person because of term limits, but we've committed to, over the next 4 years, erecting statues on behalf of our community. And the first one will be done in the fall in Broward Park. We'll be erecting a statue of Shirley Chisholm. So that statues of Robert Fulton and some other statues that have a negative impact on our community won't be the only things that people see. I'll be calling on the board of directors from the Fulton Art Fair to submit to me an artist that they'd like to have a statue or a rendering done of, and we'll try to get that done. So I've committed $250,000 every year for the next 4 years to erect monuments so that we can look back and understand, and other people can see our commitment as the community changes. So I thank you for allowing me to serve in such a rich community. Thank you.
That's what this fair is all about. Making the kids in this community, in our community, understand that they have this capability, and it's all right.
Okay. On behalf of the Fulton Art Fair and the Borough President's Office, this citation is presented to Otto Niels for his 60 years with our organization.
Thank you so much, Ms. Key. I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of the members of the Fulton Art Fair for this great honor. Thank you so much.
Meredith Chandler, Miss Violet Chandler. We lost Miss Chandler in December.
So this is presented to Chandler family in recognition for their mother's long-term service to the Fulton Art Fair and the energy that she brings. Thank you very much. And we also want to present another 60-year founding member, Mr. Henry Jordan, a citation thanking him for his 60 years of service and continuing the legacy of the Fulton Art Fair. Thank you for that.
Everything has been said, and I thank you.
It's not her. I don't know if it's coming from your iPad.
Yeah, so, I don't gotta be. But anyway, it's too late anyway. I just want to tell them to speak up. That's why I got it loud as I could.
Thank you on behalf of my mother. I know the Fulton Art Fair meant so much to her, and from the very beginning, I think she must have missed maybe 1 year, and that was the year her health was beginning to fail. But she, her father, her brothers and sisters were all here at the very beginning, and it really meant so much to her, and I thank you. And I know she's here with us now. And thank you very much.
Okay. Excuse me, y'all. I did not expect that to happen. I'm so sorry. This is our citation to the Fulton Art Fair for our 60 years on the fence of Eric Adams' office. All our citations we received today was from Eric Adams' office, our borough president. This is for 60 years, Fulton Art Fair. This is a presentation for our MVP. This is to you, Mr. Larry Weeks, for our MVP 2018. Without Larry, Larry has done phenomenal for our organization. He's one of our newest members, and he has definitely been there. Okay, and we thank you.
Well, thank you very much, but it's all about us. I just want to, do stuff for us and keep the legacy going, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to build upon the legacy, make it better, and support the artists, and make better energy. Thank you very much. Happy belated birthday,
Mr. Melvin Isaacs.
Right there.
You're behind the camera, but this is for you.
No, we got to get that.
You are our second MVP for 2018. We appreciate your effort. Ain't no money in it. But we appreciate this. You have been there for us. You are our driver, our picker-upper. He has been there. Him and Larry are phenomenal, and we thank you. We couldn't have done without you guys.
Thank you very much.
I want to really thank the Fulton Art Fair for giving me this opportunity to help them, to help the community, and to working with a teamwork with everybody, with Larry, Charlotte Key, Gerald, Diane. I'm talking about everybody that's on the team, everybody that was pulling together, and Fulton Art Fair is growing. We moving. We are moving. So thank you very much.
You go, Melly.
This award here is presented to Ms. Dolores Carty. Ms. Carty kept this organization going for years. And this is our recognition for her. She could not be with us today. I spoke to her yesterday, and I told her that this would be delivered to her house. Okay, but we thank her for keeping us where we are and putting us where we are. Thank you all. We thank our membership. We thank our public. We thank Carnegie's office. We thank Eric Adams' office. And God bless, we'll be here another 60, 70 years. We may not be here, but Fulton Northfield will be here. Thank you so much. We appreciate all of you.
Gerald, right?
Yeah.
Gerald ain't going nowhere.
Can you hold up the proclamation one more time?
This is our 60th anniversary from Eric Adams' office for 60 years with this organization. And that's phenomenal. With organizations, especially art organizations of color, okay, they have disappeared, they have aged out, which Fulton Northfield was aging out, but we are coming back, we're getting new members, we're getting younger members. And believe me, we need you, because I can't do it no more. Okay, we thank you, have a blessed day. Okay. This is our Fulton Northfield 60th anniversary on the fence. We're here.
This is more than 50th anniversary.
This is our 60th year? It's more than 60 years?
It's about 60 years, but we started in 1958.
Okay, so it's 60 years. We've been out here on the fence, and we're here with one of our founding members, Ms. Dolores Carty, who have helped and dedicated herself to Fulton Northfield for years. In recognition, Fulton Northfield has presented her with this trophy for her dedication and devotion to Fulton Northfield, 60 years on the fence. You care to say something, Dolores?
Yes. I hope. Oh, I heard something. Oh, I heard somebody say something. I thought somebody else was talking. Okay.
We want to hear what you have to say.
We started in 1958, Fulton Art Fair, founded by Shirley Hawkins, who was a black funeral director in this neighborhood. And she had this idea that this park would be a good place to have a show to show what our people can do if given a chance. And I think that today was one of the prime times that we can say that's our show. We started out on a small scale, and we grew from 1958 until now. I was in the Fulton Art Fair until, I don't even remember what year I got out. You remember? I don't remember. Anyway, it was a good time. It was a good time. And we're glad to see that it's being revitalized by these ambitious performers and speakers that we have here today. And hopefully we will get the kind of support that we had in the beginning by the people who live in this community, the community that was overlooked for so many years and is now growing again. So even though I don't live in this particular community now, I'm glad to come back, and I'm very proud of the work that is being done by the new organizers, one of which is sitting next to me right now.
Hi, guys.
And I know she's working hard because I know I worked hard. And I said, why am I doing this? But I did it because the newspapers never gave this community the kind of publicity it should have had. It gave it only a very negative picture to the public in general. right now we have a lot of new people here. I see that there are businesses that are being generated here. And at the time that my children were growing up, if they misbehaved, somebody would always come and say, I'm going to tell your mother, or I'm going to tell your father, somebody. But they grew up, they've got their own children now, and thank God for that. So I'm proud of what I saw here today, even though the crowd was not as big as I had hoped it would be. But anyway, they gave me this lovely plaque. The current members gave me this lovely plaque in memory of the work that I put in with Fulton Art Fair at that time. And I met a lot of new people here today who either remembered me or remembered Fulton Art Fair when it first began. And I'm very proud of what I saw today.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate you, we do.
I know you do. I know you do. I appreciate you because, I mean, it's not an easy job, but these people who succeeded us have done a beautiful, a magnificent job. And hopefully, this is just the beginning of the new era. Thank you very much.
Fulton Art Fair is happy to present this second prize of $75 to Tabitha Theo-Jean for her work, which she did this weekend. Well, the last 2-3 weekends she's been working on this piece for the fence. And here is your prize, honey.
Thank you.
You want to say something to the people? Let the people know who he is.
Hi, my name is Tabitha Theo-Jean. This is my 5th year here at the Fulton Art Fair. I did this piece during the Fulton Art Fair of the 60th anniversary. Normally I would do live paintings, and they would usually be around 16 by 20 or 18 by 24. So for the 60th anniversary, I thought I could go be a little bit more adventurous and be a little bit more daring. So I'm working on a 60 by 72 canvas. And yeah, it was really exciting, really fun. A lot of back and forth with this piece. I was not stuck, which is the best part about creating a piece. And yeah, basically this piece is talking about what's going on today. A lot of controversy, a lot of debates, a lot of activism going on right now. So it's nice as an artist to kind of let the people know that we are paying attention, and we do want to have a voice. We do want to say what we need to say, and really try to open our minds, because the media won't really tell you what's going on, but the people will always tell you what's going on. So it's kind of our job as an artist to kind of, you know,
Get the message out there.
And dictate everything that's been said out there. Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your participation.
Thank you.
And congratulations. Now you take me out to dinner?
You picked the place.
Okay. I'm proud to present this third prize placing to Gary Knox for his work. I don't even know how would you describe it. How would you describe your work?
I heard someone call it duality, where two figures come together and form one, and that's the only way I can describe it. It's just two figures, the man and a woman together.
It's always a man and a woman?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway, thank you so much for participating in the Fulton Art Fair. We're proud to present this third place prize to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.